Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and over the last few months I've had a lot of fun making the case for multiple different guitar models, highlighting the pros and some things that I love about the different guitars, as well as some potential cons for some people that might not have the opportunity to try before they buy in this modern day and age. We have one last guitar that I have to make the pitch for, but before we do that, there's a different kind of topic that ties into this that I would like to make the pitch for as well. Recently, on a live stream, we were talking about gear, because that's what we do, right? And the person named SG said they only noticed they started to really improve as a guitarist when they sold a lot of their guitars and only played one as their main guitar full time. So today, I'm going to be making the pitch for doing just that. Now, the easiest way I could start this video out would be to highlight all of the guitar players from different genres that have made great careers for themselves playing one guitar or one guitar model exclusively. I'm not going to do that because I feel that's pretty low-hanging fruit here. However, I bring it up because it proves it can be done. You can get away with just playing one guitar and you could become household name or a well-established guitarist that is well respected within the community. But I'm going to start a little bit more at home here. There was once a time I had one electric guitar. After I really decided I wanted to play guitar, I had the Affinity Stratocaster. When I bought my first real guitar, I bought the JV. From 1998 until I believe 2006, that was the only guitar I owned, period. Now granted, it's going to be a little bit different now because the internet did not exist to the same capacity back then as it does now. There wasn't a new guitar being shoved in my face. There was no Instagram for me to log into to see somebody else playing a model or making a tone that I'm like, wow, that's incredible. It was all just seeing people live or seeing things in the music store in person for me. And I did play a lot of other guitars in that time where I only had the JV, but it was because I worked in a music store and I was out gigging. But when I came home and I wanted to play, I didn't have decisions to make. I had one amp, the Music Man, and I had one guitar, the JV Strat. That was it. That allowed me to sit and really start to focus on learning, focus on improving, working on my technique. And I'm really happy that I had those formative years with that guitar because it taught me a lot about other guitars and it taught me my guitar's limitations and also my own limitations as a guitar player. And one of the reasons why only having the JV helped me so much to improve as a guitar player back then was because it was easy for me to identify deficiencies or things I wanted to work on in my own playing because I knew that guitar inside and out. There was no adjustment needed. I played it every single day. I didn't have to really get used to anything else. Sometimes when you have different kinds of guitars or you rotate between a few different models, sitting down with one, it could take a little bit to get back into it, or something that you might learn on one might be a little bit easier or more difficult on a different guitar model. You take all that, you throw it out the window. You just focus on actually improving. By only playing one guitar, you'll be able to establish all of the sounds that it can make and then start to really understand why it can't make others that you might be searching out. In my case, I always wanted that Strat to really sound gigantic with gain on it when I was younger. I could never do it. I tried so many amps, I tried so many pickups, I tried so many different pedals. It just never got me where I needed to go. But it took all that trial and error from when I was much younger to figure out it just wasn't the guitar's fault. I wanted a Les Paul. And it took all that experimentation and eventually talking to other people who were much smarter than I was at that time to figure that out. But on that journey, if I hadn't done it on my own, I wouldn't have found so many cooler sounds that weren't exactly what I was looking for back then, but now I can reference and easily recall because of that experimentation that I did. And for my closing arguments as for why you should only have one guitar, you'll save time and you'll save money. I can't guarantee you save time. Maybe you'll waste it doing other things, but you won't be spending that time necessarily browsing Reverb, looking up different gear demos on YouTube of things that, maybe I could buy this. I got a few extra bucks burning in my pocket here and there. We all do it. I'm guilty of doing it. Let me tell you something on first-hand experience here. Over the course of doing this YouTube channel alone, almost 2 years at this point, you don't need to have followed this channel. All you have to do is click on the content button and look at the sheer number of different guitars that I've had. When I get in guitars now, it is so uncommon for me to be genuinely excited about them because the mystique is gone. You can't buy your happiness that way. You just can't do it. And it doesn't matter how good the guitars are. We're not talking about getting in bottom barrel budget guitars. I've had some extremely nice guitars that I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, whatever. I shoot the demo for it and I'm done with it. It's just, it kind of takes the magic away from it. And when you could take that out of the equation and really appreciate what you do have and know it inside out like I have with the JV and the last guitar that I'm going to focus on, that is the highlight of this video, you become more in tune with what's really important, and that is the creation of music and improving yourself and your craft as a guitarist. Now, to wrap this up, I have been playing one guitar almost exclusively when I'm not shooting these things for YouTube over the last, 6 months. I think you can guess what it is. It's this guy. And coming full circle here with the topic of this video and the inspiration for it, which was that comment from SG. This guitar had already been that for me. This is the guitar I pick up. When I'm not doing YouTube, I use this. When a piece of gear comes in that's not a guitar, I use this to test it. Doesn't matter if it's an amp, a plug-in, a pedal. This is my barometer. If it works with this, it'll work for me, and that's really all that matters. This is my favorite guitar. If I only could keep one, this would be it, with all sentimental things put aside here as far as from a practical standpoint. There is absolutely nothing that will ever beat this guitar for me. And next week, I will be making the pitch as to why every single guitar player should have a Telecaster. But that's where I'm going to leave this today. Leave me a comment. Let me know, what is your number one guitar? Why do you love it? Do you have multiple guitars, or are you strictly a one guitar person? And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take it easy, everybody.